Hi and welcome to another episode of Toby's Barbecue Corner. Today we're making stuffed squid with tagliarini neri. And what you need for it and how to do it, I'm going to show you in this episode. And this is what we need for today. Now obviously we need squid or calamari. Now they are roughly 900 grams. Total, so we're going to take them apart in a minute and prepare them. Then we also need some toast bread, which I've already cut up, some butter, onions, a couple of cloves of garlic, some leek, carrots, fish stock, olive oil, fresh parsley, a couple of egg yolks, salt, pepper, some tagliarini neri, and you need a pig net. Now I've already done all the chopping prior to this video just because I didn't want to bore you, so let's get straight into it. Now in the first step we're going to remove the intestines from the squid. So what you want to do is you want to grab just behind the head into the sack and very gently pull, and it should all come apart. So take your time, you know, don't be in a rush, because otherwise you might tear it and then that will make it just that little bit even more difficult. There we go, that's already it. And you need to take out the backbone as well. That can be a little difficult. It can be a bit difficult at times because it might break apart depending on what the fishermen have done to the squid prior. But here we go, and it comes out super easy. Now we're quickly going to wash them, and then we're going to show you what to do next. Now that they're washed and separated, we're going to take the outer membrane off, and what you need to do is you just basically need to pull, and as they're nice and fresh, that should come off rather quickly and super easy. But you really need to do that, otherwise you won't be able to eat it because it will get rather chewy. This is what the squid will look like once you're done, and as you can tell, I've removed the wings or flaps or whatever you want to call that, so we're going to cut them up in a second because they will go in as the stuffing. But now let's take care of the head. So what you want to do is you want to take a sharp knife and you just want to cut it right in front of the eyes. Just like that. Put that to the side. We won't be able to use that anymore. And then we have to remove the beak, because obviously that is an extremely hard part and we can't eat that. And basically the beak is almost like a bird's beak. So you fold it backwards, you pull it, and it separates and it goes in the trash. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut up those tentacles into small little pieces because they will go in as the stuffing as well. The barbecue is nice and hot, and I'm using my cast iron skillet for the first step, and we're going to give the breadcrumbs a little bit of color. So we're going to use about 80 grams of the butter. Sorry, 50 grams. Going to let that melt. Put it in an indirect zone. And then we're going to put the breadcrumbs in, and you have to constantly toss them, otherwise they will get too dark. Couple of seconds later, they're already done, so we're going to put them back into our little container here and set them to the side. Let's take care of the veggies. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the remaining bit of butter. Let that melt. And then we're going to add in our vegetables. Give them a little bit of color, not too much though. Give that a little bit of a stir as well. A couple of minutes later, the veggies are starting to get soft. So it's time to add in the fish stock, and then we're going to reduce that down until it's just slightly wet. About an hour later, at about 230 degrees direct heat, we are there, so it's nice and moist, and we're going to take it off now. And then we're going to take care of the squid tentacles as well as the wings that we cut off earlier. We're quickly going to fry up the pieces of the squid in 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and then once they've gotten a little bit of color, we're going to remove them and put them in with the veggies as well as the bread. I've already put the squid pieces in with the vegetables, and now in go our breadcrumbs that we created earlier. And don't worry if that all gets a little cold now, because you know, obviously you need to stuff the squid later on, and obviously if it's boiling hot it's rather difficult. So we're going to take the chopped parsley that I have as well, put that in there. Now if you want, you can leave some out for some decoration purposes. That's entirely up to you. And we're going to add in the egg yolks as well, salt and pepper, and then we're going to give that a good mix and create a good stuffing. Make sure you really work in those eggs so that it creates a good binding agent, or it becomes a good binding agent for the stuffing. One thing that I forgot to mention, I'm really sorry about it. This is the pig net that I showed you earlier, and obviously it came vacuum packed. So what you want to do is you want to water it in lukewarm water really ahead of time. So I put this in pretty much when I started the video. So this is about a good 2 hours ago now, and you can tell how it's coming apart. And this is what the pig net actually looks like. So it's basically very fatty tissue, and we're going to wrap our squid in later on. Now if you don't need it all, just put it back in a Ziploc bag or a vacuum packed bag, and then you can freeze it again. The stuffing has sufficiently cooled down, so let's stuff the squid. And what you want to do is, I personally like to wear a glove at least to use on the inside of the squid for the stuffing. So again, make sure there's nothing left inside, that you've cleaned it thoroughly, dabbed it dry a little bit, and then we're just going to take the stuffing and try to maneuver it in there. Now listen, it's going to be messy, so don't worry about it. Just make sure that you stuff it all the way to the end. If you need to use a spoon, like a wooden spoon, the end of a wooden spoon for it, that's fine too. But usually you can just let gravity do its job, and then it will really nicely stuff itself. Stuffing is all done. Make sure it's nice and full, and now we're going to wrap it in the pig net. Now for the purpose of this cook, and as these calamari or squids are rather large, I'm going to use 1 net each, and the 500 grams that the net was total in terms of weight is I believe it's 3 or 4 nets. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the squid and we're going to rest it here, make sure nothing of the stuffing falls out, and then we're just going to fold it over just like that. Make sure that the ends are nicely covered, and then we're just going to roll it in, always making sure that, as I said, that the end is covered. Just like that. Just be gentle with it, you know, obviously when you take it out of the water, dab it dry a little bit, but not overly dry. But this will help the cooking process, as well as keep our squid nice and moist. All wrapped up, let's go outside, let's cook them. The barbecue sits at about 200 degrees Celsius, and we're going to add some olive oil in here. Make sure it's a pan that you can use in the barbecue or in your oven. And then we're going to put those squid right inside and cook them for about 20 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Obviously, give them a quick flip once in a while so that they get a nice sear from all sides. After a couple of minutes, let's give them a flip. Make sure you don't tear the pig skin. They're starting to get some color, and that's what we're looking for. And there we go, already the pasta is already cooking away. Now if you want to check if the squid is ready, just take a toothpick, and if it goes nicely into the squid, then it's all good. So this one's fine. Let's do that center cut, but it has gained some great color. It's super soft, and look how juicy it is. Alright, we're gonna cut this up now, and then we're gonna dig in. And there you have it, guys, our stuffed squid with tagliarini, neri. Now I used a little bit too much stuffing, so it came out on the other side, so I was very happy to have that, that pig net. And then just to add a little bit of color, you can use some of the parsley that I set aside earlier. And now we're ready to dig in. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video about the stuffed squid with the tagliarini neri. Now it was super delicious. One of those big squids is definitely enough for 2 people. So the 2 were perfect for the 4 of us. Just next time I'm not going to use as much stuffing, to be honest with you, because it did come out, but obviously was caught by the pig net, so it all worked out. Was super juicy, was super delicious. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I would appreciate a comment and a thumbs up. Please head over to that subscribe button for more great videos to come, and I hope to see you soon again at Toby's Barbecue Corner.